Okay, folks, we want to sincerely apologize for the break-in. So let's see here. We're going to get this going here in a different context. Hopefully, you're still there with us. It's important that we have this. We have this program. So just stay with us. Very shortly, my guest is going to be right back here. Try to use alternative plan here to get this program on the way by all means. So, Alfonso Z and so of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR TV. Stay tuned. Very shortly, you're going to be joining me right here as we try to switch gear. Hopefully, you will get our signal as well, so that we can get this program on the way. Stay tuned. We'll soon be joining my guests here for us to get this program. Let me just make sure that we have something here. Okay, so Mr. Cyril Allen is a member of the governing council of the ruling party in Liberia. That is the ruling party of the Congress for Democratic Change. He will be here with me here very shortly here. So let's see here. Hopefully he's here already. Just give me a break. I want to make sure that we get this program, in a very good position as well. So just if you can share it, that will be good for us as well, as we about to have this program here. So let's see here. Okay, my guest is here. Let me just bring in Chief Cyril Allen of the Governing Council of the Republic of Liberia ruling coalition party. Okay, Chief Allen, thank you. I guess you are hearing me much better.
Yes, you are quite clear. Thank you very much.
Okay, all right. Again, unfortunately, these technologies is so difficult. Sometimes you don't have control over it, and it goes the way while you don't anticipate. That's what happens. So let's see here with this one here. Okay, you want us to start the whole football game all over? Fair to mention?
Well, but people have been following, so those people who join us from here, they may continue. If you want to add some things that you think are relevant for disclosure here, then you can ask them, and I will elaborate on them. But otherwise than that, I want to make it clear from the beginning that I said I'm a member of the Governing Council, Chairman Emeritus of the National Patriotic Party, a member of the coalition, a member party of the coalition. I speak as Chief Cyril Allen. I do not speak for the coalition. I do not speak for the National Patriotic Party. I'm not the spokesman for either of these two institutions of which I'm part. I'm far over and above as a spokesperson, and I represent my own personal views.
That's the problem with you politicians. You guys are so cleverly used to this here to make sure your words are so cleverly curved that people can hold you responsible. That's okay, but let's see how you're going to play out.
Please hold me responsible for what I say. Please do that.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much, Chief Allen. Okay, so and we're not going to go all back here. The sound is perfect now. Thank you so much, Joseph. Okay, we're going to be talking here, a member of the Governing Council. Whatever that happens here, the ordinary person out there like myself, we will say, you know what, all of these guys are responsible. Let's talk a little bit. Let's talk a little bit here on some of the things that are happening. The state of the emergency constituted by the government of Liberia came out and make a pronouncement. The curfew, it was to 3 o'clock into 6 o'clock. Government made a pronouncement. There were being some sort of stimulus. Is the exercise, first of all, not to be judgmental, is the exercise ongoing right now as far as you are concerned?
As far as I'm concerned, it is not reaching anywhere because there's a whole lot of comments about it on the radio, on the talk shows and whatnot. I would hope that we will implement an effective program to ensure that things that are said to the Liberian people by and through the president's office, the functionaries in government should endeavor to implement. There's no need to drag your feet. Their funds are available. The food stuff is ready, available. The institutions of government must take responsibility to try to make sure that the pronouncements by the government, in fact, this was a pronouncement by and through the national legislature. So it virtually appears to me like law.
Who presents?
So all functionaries in government should take responsibility to implement. And where they are not implementing, we should bring pressure to bear on them to perform their official duties. That's what's lacking in most governments before, and is lacking right now, where people who have responsibilities and duties assigned to them by statute or by law are not diligent in the performance of their duties. That create a lot of bottlenecks in government and make it very difficult, make the governance process very difficult.
Chief Allen, it seems to be washing the hands of this whole thing here from the executive branch of government. They came with that proposal, and I also have an issue, the inability of the lawmakers, which is a separate entity of government, should first of all to scrutinize that budget and all of the plans. That did not happen. Now, the executive branch took the lead and said this is going to happen. So why should we say no? This is not part of it. This should not be the responsibility of the executive branch of government. Is that fair to say that?
It is the responsibility of the executive branch of government. The government functionaries in these various food unit, the Ministry of Commerce, Ministry of Finance, and other line ministries that are responsible for this to ensure, even the Ministry of Tourism, information should be very effective in disseminating information and following up on the process. I understand the process is on.
We hope the phone calls will not interrupt us. If people can
just relatively slow and many.
So,
are you there?
Yeah, I'm hearing you. So those.
Oh, you're gone.
No, I'm hearing you. Chief Allen, are you there? I'm getting you loud and clear. You still there?
I'm not hearing you now. But anyway, it seems like those calls are coming in, man. People disturb.
Those calls, we need to pull hold on those calls, because when that happens, it's just going to be interrupting. Are you hearing me or not? Are you hearing me?
Yes, I can hear you barely.
Yeah. So I believe that the phone calls that are coming in there, but I'm getting you. So hopefully, if we can poke sanction on those phone calls, I want to make sure that we get this right here. Are you getting me now?
No, not quite. I would like to hear you a lot more than what I'm hearing you now. It was quite clear in the beginning. Yeah. I don't know what button to touch here to get audio. Let me see.
Okay, you mute your. Okay, now your audio is on.
Okay.
Yeah, are you getting me now?
Not quite, but anyway, go ahead. I will try to listen. I have to come closer now.
Yeah. So you want to go and come back to see whether the audio will reset?
Can I switch? Go and come back?
Yeah. If you're not hearing me, I want to make sure my questions, you get the questions so that you can fairly answer it as well. But if you're hearing me, then that's okay. Are you not hearing me? Are you not hearing me? Okay, so let me see here. Let me just get him up, and he can come back here. Okay, folks, just bear with us. That's the beauty of Liberia with all of these things that we're talking about. Hopefully, I do not want to ask the questions where he will not be in that, but he can still come back here. So we'll try the best we can. Hopefully he will come back. The audio, I believe, is very, very much excellent, perfect from my side. But I believe phone calls coming into it helps to trickle into the sort of disposition as well. So we are having discussion here with a member of the governing council, the former chairman emeritus of the National Patriotic Party of Liberia, Chief Cyril Allen. He once served as managing director of the Liberia Petroleum Refining Company during the presidency of Charles Gangit Taylor. So hopefully you're going to come back here so that we can have this discussion ongoing. I believe he's using it from his phone, so there's some sort of interruption. Hopefully in the near future they will use, they will use. Okay, all right. Let's see here. Okay, are you there, Chief Allen?
Very clear now. Let's go on.
Okay, these people that keep calling here, they should start calling. I have a serial talk here with you, and the audience are anxious to know what's going on.
Yeah,
what's going on in Liberia? Okay, so yeah. Now like I said, let's get back to base. It came from the executive. I mean, I have my own issue with the lawmakers. I feel everybody did not do their due diligence. One, they did not even ask as to how that 25 million was arrived. Who is the author? Is it coming from the Ministry of Finance? Because they should be the one to tell the president to say this is what happening. There was an emergency team headed by Madam Himera Bro. I haven't heard anything whether that committee has ever appeared. They went ahead, signed as usual. They like signing things on Capitol Hill. At the end of the day, there was a huge financial exploitation in my own time. All of that. These are alarming issues with many Liberians out there. So who the president should be holding to responsible if the rightful information wasn't passed to the president? Chief Allen, are you there?
Fonso, can you hear me?
I'm hearing you. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh man, what is? Are you there?
I'm here. I'm hearing you good from my end. I believe the system is coming from your side.
Hello.
Hello. I'm hearing you loud and clear. Do you?
Yeah, man. This is strange, man.
Yeah.
Let me go off again.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. You see, that's why you need to fix the system in Liberia. You know, whether the government or whoever in charge, you need to fix the system. Internet broadband in this time of the time here. Okay.
Very good. Very good. Very good. Okay. Let's go.
Yeah, so I was asking who should the president be holding to responsible by them, because the president put out information forward. People are not up to this point. Relief, emergency relief that should help the people is not getting there. People might even die before the relief come in. So why all these complications? Why? This is not funny, Chief Allen. This is not funny. You are a member of the governing council. You are a tough talking guy, right? So what are you guys doing?
Those who are responsible and discharge of their duties. And action should be taken on the part of government when people do not perform their duties. And I mean that. I've said that over and over. When the OKFM asked me about the distribution of the food that was proposed, I was surprised to hear that it was because I'm most of the time at the farm in Monrovia, I mean in Kakata. I was surprised that was not going on. I thought there was massive distribution going on as per the pronouncement, which should have been the order of the day. It's unfortunate that is not happening, and I think that people who have these duties and responsibilities should be reprimanded. Our problem in governments before this and even now, actions are not taken to remedy, to reprimand people when they do not perform their duties. We have to get into that orientation of doing that. That way people will become stronger, they will be more diligent in the discharge of their duties. Functionaries fail in the performance of their duties. That's why governments fail. If functionaries are diligent, governments will virtually succeed. And this is why, this is how I see it. The attitude of Liberians to work, it is attitude of Liberians to what is government or what is general. It is the attitude of our Liberians they don't go to office on time. They're on the internet all day in offices, using government equipment, roughly abusing public offices. This is the kind of thing that we have in Liberia. It is a problem, it's a national problem, and need to be uprooted and addressed.
So people who specifically Chief Cyril Allen is referring to that the president should reprimand.
Hello?
Yeah, who should the president reprimand in your own thinking?
Well, I don't know that I think they have the committee that was a steering committee. I think they should put the committee feet to the fire to get the job done. I do not know the members of the composition of the committee. If I know that, I will pinpoint the areas where it's lax. But I do not know, and I think that the entire committee should be reprimanded because of the inability to carry out the proposition of the president as he has promised the Liberian people. I think action should be taken if there are hitches on the part of government. I think there should be a pronouncement to that effect also, so that the citizens can be aware that there are bottlenecks in the process. If there are no bottlenecks in the process, I think the process should be fluid, and those responsible to make it fluid their feet should be put to the fire to do that. That is my honest opinion about that.
Are you disappointed of the process as member of the governing council?
Well, it is not a governing council decision matter. It is a matter of the executive branch of government to implement. The governing council is not an implementing body. We can just always put pressure on our colleagues. Some of our colleagues, the Minister of Commerce is one of those people on the committee. He's a member of the governing council too. I can always call him and say, Mr. Minister, what's happening there, man? You people have to be more diligent in the performance and the discharge of this duty. That's the most I can do. I cannot threaten or intimidate any functionary in government. I don't have such authority.
Yeah, not a matter of intimidating Chief Allen, but as member of the council, there's 3 parties put together here, and you guys are somehow, some way involved in the decision making, and this is going to put a political dent on this government, because if nothing is done up to this time, people don't know what's going to happen.
Yes, but I agree with you. The decision to carry out these things, yes, we participate in a decision-making process, which was the right decision to do in a time of this. We have vulnerable people, and the government have certain gifts and grants, and they should use that so that our international partners who are supporting this can know that we are using the funds for the design purpose. But at the same time, we have to ensure that citizens who are assigned to these functions perform them. Yes, we make the policy. Like, for example, I'm involved on the board of directors of the Social Security. I make the policy, administrative policies. It is the management itself that have the implementing role. And when they are not implementing that role, it is also good for the board to call on them and say, you have to perform your duty. So we are not shunning this, but we're just saying that the process of administration and governance in the country does not give the governing council as a body, a political body, any muscle or anything to make any such intervention. It is the executive branch of government and those functionaries in the legislature that should put the feet to the fire to perform the duty, not actually the governing council.
Yeah, let's avoid some political correctness here. Do you think somebody should be held responsible for this failure, for this sort of failed policy?
Alfonso, you have dwelled on this subject longer than I intended to. I have said very clearly that people, not only this committee, I've said very clearly, not only this committee, but straight across the board in government. I've said that before, and I'm repeating that now. Those people who are derelict in their duties, those people who have malfeasance and misfeasance and nonfeasance in the performance of their duties should be reprimanded, and action should be taken to ensure that we get the fullest out of those people who are nominated to these positions. And actions must be taken so that people can learn from example. In absence of that, we cannot start getting results from people who are derelict. I mean, it is administrative that actions should be taken. I'm in support of that any day, and I will continue to say that. I've said that in previous administrations. During the Taylor administration, I was chairman of the party, and I said to President Taylor, you have a lot of dubious and corrupt elements in the cabinet. I think you have to reshuffle that cabinet because people are not performing their duties. And everybody thought I was personal. I wasn't personal. I was just in the interest of the government succeeding. And that's the reason why I make these pronouncements, not because I have any interest or particular interest in any individuals or anything of that sort. But I mean, we must perform our duties as it is assigned. And that is why I say it was important for the Senate in approving people at the national legislature for functions to give them a copy of the statute that comprise and give details of the statutory requirement of the performance of their duties, what their duties are about, and question them on their ability to implement that statutory provision of their function. And then you will find out that people, when they leave from there, they will study it. When they don't study it, you have to send them back and say, go and review the statute of your position and come back, and we'll question you on issues relative to your position. Then we'll be satisfied that you have the capacity to implement. In the absence of that, asking people what party you're in, what country you come from, what kind of suit you will wear when you become a minister, those kind of questions are irrelevant from the Senate. They are not necessary. Get the statutory requirement of the job, what is required by statute for the performance of that duty, and quest that individual on the basis of that. You will make a determination on their capacity to perform it.
Okay, let's get to one of the cardinal issue here. I'm not sure if I play this here, it will go. Let me try it. And
you're very low, Alfonso. Can I go off and come back and see?
Why?
The calls keep disturbing it, and let me just go off and.
Okay, so let me see here. Let me play this here.
Intended to unseat the CDC government in the 2023 presidential elections, Chief Allen pointed out that no member of the CPP will ever win presidential elections in Liberia, noting the four political leaders do not have the leadership attributes to govern the country, as in the case of the CDC. Speaking in an interview with Prime News, Chief Allen stated that never again will the country allow an American Liberian to serve as president of the country, noting the CPP is wasting its time and resources in vain.
Okay, are you there, Chief Allen?
I think you should continue that clip because the real story has not come out yet.
Okay, but you're hearing it, right?
I'm hearing it clearly, yeah.
Okay, good. All right, then let me go back to it.
He says if the CPP wants to deliver the change for the Liberian people, they must firstly start with the provision of job opportunity by establishing industries in a country.
To develop this country and expand here, they're not going to win no elections here. You will see a power struggle within the next few months. I predict you'll see a power struggle. When it comes to a primary, neither of these people will submit themselves to a primary. That's the problem. That's the problem. Because I know it. We tried it in the last election. We wanted Uri and Cummings to submit to a primary. Cummings said, I want to be president. I can't be president. I can't have to be number 2. All those boys. That none of them, no American Liberian in this country is going to win a democratic election within the next 20 years. Forget it. Forget it. My indicators are the political geography of the country. The awareness that's existing between you among the new generation of people. It cannot happen. It will not happen. We look at the political geography of this country. Anybody who's venturing on that is dreaming. It's not possible for you to convince the 15 tribes of Liberia to support an American Liberian in the democratic process. But that's what you say. He's looked at as a common man, an American Liberian. I'm just saying that it is impossible because Liberians are aware. Now, you cannot have a group of people dominating you for 100 and something years, and in contemporary time, you young people, politicians will come and handpick one American Liberian to be your president. I know that. I know that it's difficult because if you understand the vote-rich area, Nimba, Bong, Agiri, no American Liberians there. Boga cannot win a democratic election in this country standing alone. I can tell you that. I know him from way back. He has no such enthusiasm. He has no such character, no such undertaking. He can be a second in command as an older person. Boga is very intelligent, very smart, very experienced. But he has no sort of to lead the country. He cannot lead this country because he has not demonstrated that over the years. You must demonstrate your capacity to expand and expand and do things for national interest. We, in the absence of that, we defeat you I expect political parties at the end of the election to approach the 6 years. You lost election. You have to now develop and open opportunities and corridors for your partisans. You have money, you have investment. Bring in industries, bring in factories, open up a plantation, employ your partisans. Go to each county or each district, open up a farm.
Meanwhile, Chief Cyril Allen has called on Senator Abraham Darius Dillon to apologize to his colleagues for referring to the Senate as useless, rotten, and spineless.
I'm sorry. I think he was a little bit rude to his colleagues, and I think he owes them an apology as a young man coming up. We encourage him. We support him to be outspoken. I'm not holding him to that. You must be prudent and rational as an individual at that level, and you must be guided by the constraints of human conduct. There are certain basic constraints that govern human conduct. Your utterances. You see, I always say that young people coming out of opposition, the program there now has completely divided the Senate. I'm aware that they are divided. I'm aware that the Senate is divided because right now, if you try any of them, both the speaker and the pro tem politically, if you try them within their section, go to the pro tem and try his midterm now, try his strength among his colleagues, you see that he was not going to win the pro tem.
If you take the speaker right now and try him in midterm, 3 years gone, and try, he's not going to win the speakership because of the division between and among his people. All of them consult me. The complaints come from the legislators to me about this. The complaint comes from the senators, Senator Cooper, Senator Yala. All these people, they're concerned about the manner in which these leaders are conducting them. They are not little children that are working for them. They are equals. They voted for them to become their national leaders. They should act as leaders. Embrace all members, opposition or not, so that you can make the job of the president easier. But when you have divisions in there and pronouncements coming out of the Senate, like from Dillon, pronouncements coming from Senator Cooper, pronouncements coming from Senator Kanga Lawrence, from Graham Basso.
Okay, that's Chief Cyril Allen. Mr. Allen, Chief Allen, are you back with us?
I'm right here.
Are you back with us?
I'm right here with you. Thank you.
Okay, so let's first establish the authenticity. This voice that you heard, is that a voice of Chief Cyril Allen?
That is clearly my interview with the OKFM and some other news media. It was a collection of other medias together, TV and radio. Yes, indeed.
You stand by those comments and those words?
I stand by those comments.
Okay.
If you have any questions or query on them, please ask me. I will defend.
Okay. Let's talk here. That's quite fascinating. And that's what I alluded that I see no evidence of Cyril Allen going into retirement in politics. But that's okay. You're still contributing to your country. Talk to me here a little bit. You were quite significantly drawn to what was unfolding on Capitol Hill. Let's set the pace here for the benefit of our listening audience. What prompted that, first of all?
The interview, well, I was invited for an interview and questions were asked, and I stated my mind. I just gave some facts about the political geography of the country. Most people around where you are and other places do not understand the actual political geography of the country. And most of them because of absence, not because they are ignorant, but because there are basic things that go. You always say what is going on the ground. Let not be misled by that. I mean, I was very clear and distinct. In Liberia, we have 5 vote-rich counties, and there are no American Liberians there. In the last democratic election, you had 100 between, okay, just take, for example, 2 American Liberians, Cummins and Ure. You had 150 seats, 73 legislative seats each, and 2 seats for president and vice president. They won only 2 of those seats, of 150 seats between them. Of all the American Liberians in the electoral process in the last election, they did not even get 5% of the votes. It is not because of incompetence so much. It is because you do not have the democratic numbers. The American Liberians is a bit extinct. Most of the numbers are not even in the country today. So the numbers are not there. And no longer will people follow a handful of people to lead them into this kind of process. That's what I'm saying, and I mean it. I mean, I don't drink, not to say I was drunk when I made my utterances. I'm very clear. Anybody who does not understand the political dynamics in the country is dreaming. Because myself, I'm a prominent American Liberian. I'm born and bred in Harrisburg. Grew up here, educated on the ground here, graduate of Cottington College, been participating, working in the country, making my contribution in this country. I know that we're not going to it's not, I did not use any other tribe. I was specific because I know the numerical strength of the American Liberian in the democratic process now is a non-starter. If you are looking at that, I'm not saying that Liberians will not lobby. I'm not saying that they will not be part of political institutions. I'm not saying that they should not form coalitions and be strong. I'm saying that standing alone, they can't do it. And there's no question about that. Anybody who would doubt that, let them look at the statistics. Let them look at the statistics. You see, Montserrat County is not American Liberian territory. In fact, they are outnumbered here by maybe they constitute about 5% in Montserrat alone. I'm of that upbringing. I'm of that. I'm cut from that club, so I know what it is. I know the difficulties we have had in the last 3 democratic process in winning election at that thing. Liberians may say we don't know and whatnot, but it is every day Liberians talk about the same thing. Where you are is worse in America than even here. Now Liberians are swaying away from that, and everybody seems to understand that we are all one. But you know, it's not like we were before. When I was in school. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, let me hold you there here. That's quite fascinating. Yet I'm trying to figure out also how and why this American Liberian was injected into this conversation. You say 100 years ago. So when did Chief Cyril
I
Allen?
said
Yeah,
20.
yeah. When did
Yes.
Chief Cyril Allen to realize this sort of American Liberian and that prompted you to speak out? I believe this is the first time of you speaking out, correct?
Absolutely not. That's not the first time. I'm surprised to hear people even taking this like out of context. It's not the first time. I said that during Taylor administration. It was difficult. I said that after the end of the elections, I said, well, it was very difficult. I was the campaign manager. I went to each county, each district in this country as campaign manager for former President Taylor. And I know the difficulties that we experienced, the kind of questions that were asked as we campaigned. In the last election also, with the 2005 election.
Do you care to share with us some of those critical questions? Do you remember them?
Yes, I remember some of them. Critical questions, like, for example, a young lady in Lufa asked me, for example, they said, the MPP, the Taylor man you're talking about, what tribe is he? Where he come from? Then I said, oh, he's both part of American Liberian and he's indigenous. And you say, me, I vote for my own indigenous people. I vote for my own country. In fact, you said clearly, but I'm not using that as a basis. I'm using my basis is clear on the statistical, on the democratic numbers. The democracy is the law of numbers. You can have 50 PhDs in one party. A party with 12 ex-combatants can outvote. I mean, with 51 ex-combatants can outvote them. There's not quality. Vote does not have quality. It's the number of votes that you. I mean, you know, that's what I'm saying. So to convince Liberians now, with the awareness that they have, to support the handpick an American Liberian and say you are our president, it's almost impossible.
So,
and I want to repeat that. I don't mean because they will not be president because they are American Liberian. They will not be president now in the next 20 years because of the demography, because of the political geography of the country.
So Chief Allen has realized that the politics in Liberia has evolved significantly in terms of the demographic that we have now, which of course I agree. But what will you say to critics who have now who saw your statements as being like try to blackmail these politicians and telling them, even though you alluded quite that you also have a background and you are once in government, but now they're coming out, you tell them, say, oh, these guys, they are not the rightful people. Believe me, we were there before and we didn't do anything and they are coming back again. Don't listen to that. That's how your critic might see it. How can you?
Well, it is good for people to be critical about statements, but you have to understand the context in which people are speaking. That is the difficulty we have with the quality of education we had in our country since the 80s. Understand the context in which I'm speaking. I have nothing personal with any of these fellows. I mean, it's to my advantage if they win elections, but I know that I'm looking at the reality on the ground. I'm looking at the political geography and the demography. I'm looking at the vote-rich counties and my experience in the last 3 democratic process. I'm in the right position to say that. You see, because look, in the House of Senate, you have 30 senators. Only half is American Liberian. Or Senator Cooper is Mende and American Liberian. We're from the same area up the river. He is the only senator with an American Liberian background. And there are 73 legislators. They don't have up to 2 or 3 American Liberians in there. These indicators tell you that you do not have the capacity to win the whole democratic process as president. These are some of the factors that lead to that. I'm not personalizing anything or anybody. I don't mind. There's nothing that they have that I want. They cannot do nothing for me or to me. But I'm saying, as I'm making a statement of fact. If anybody do not agree with that, maybe they are living in a dream world. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so why you think at this time here, such a statement, and I want you to respond to this comment here, until the life of every Liberian is equally valued, protected, and respected regardless of their tribal backgrounds, the political affiliations, the proclamations of glorious liberty shall be ours, will remain in the proclamation meant to discriminate against other Liberians. Are you discriminating against other Liberians?
I have no intentions of doing that. My statement is not, I mean, I don't know whether you understand whether people understand what is discrimination. It's not discriminatory. It is. I mean, we are in a democratic process. The process of democracy says that it is the law of numbers, and you don't have the democratic numbers. It's proven in the electoral process. It's proven in the Senate. It's proven in the legislature that the American Liberians do not have the democratic numbers. I have nothing personal against anybody. The win or lose election means nothing to me. I just need a friendly government to be able to do what I do. I'm a private businessman. I'm a farmer. But I mean, I'm just saying, when they asked the question about the CPP, I said, listen, the CPP they are doing very well to collaborate. We encourage collaboration. It means that we are national leaders. They see that in unity there is strength. The first coalition in the history of this country that stuck together to go to election won the democratic process. So it is entertaining and inviting for other political parties, as requested by the international community, always to what? Form amalgamation. Unite. In unity there is strength. It's a good idea. We support it. But it does not mean that they have won democratic election. It does not give you, it does not say that you are president. You're a leader of the opposition, which is good. And you see, I may also mention that some of the reasons why you had 6 American Liberians in the last electoral process, they did not win 3%, 4% of the votes. All of them together.
Why you think?
Look at some of these figures. No, you have to look at some of these figures because it is important that people understand that. Do not be misled over there by somebody's name or the fact that they are influential to you in the United States and other things. You come to Liberia and you think that you can just grab the presidency. It doesn't work like that. Liberians are aware now. What I was doing was just information. And you know that they will never unite. Look at it. You try it in a primary. We tried it in the last process. Submit yourself to a primary. Yes. So
basically, you are speaking from experience. I remember I remember in the days of Charles Taylor at the All Liberian Conference, when all of the political parties were coming together, and then President Taylor said at the time, well, these people, when I agree, they're going to be fighting over it, and they will be on that, and I will be elected as president, and that's an established fact. Why do you think this polity has evolved so quickly and so fastly now? What do you think went wrong?
Hello?
Yeah, hello?
Are you there?
I'm here. I'm hearing you loud and clear. I believe there's a call that came in again that led to the interruption.
Oh my God, these people keep calling, man. I mean, this is...
Okay, there you have it, Alan, because there's an interruption in the court, and hopefully, let's see here. Okay, let's see here. Let's see,
good.
Chief. Yeah, are you back? Yeah,
I'm back. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I was asking, why do you think politics so quickly and fastly has evolved and changed this whole dynamics? Should I say overnight? Well, I don't know how authentic would that be. Why do you think this has changed so much, so fastly? Because
but times are changing. We have to work in conformity with the challenges of changing times. The things are evolving. The democratic people are more aware now. You see more people active in the democratic process. You go to counties. I don't know whether any of you were participating in the last electoral process. We went to about 70 districts with President Weah. We had to take our leader to the district so that people could see him and know who it was. This idea of absentee landlord, people go to a few counties and a few people beating drums and dancing, and they think that they have won the democratic process. It does not work that way. It is good for you to get down to the district level and make sure that you interact with the people and let them understand how you think. Those live in an ivory tower and think that you can use a few handful of people who are disloyal anyway to go into the rural areas and tell you that my people say they will carry you, and my people say they will carry you. We've heard that thing over and over. We've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on the democratic process where people have misled. I was campaign manager when I gave a pickup load of T-shirts to somebody to take to Lofa County. Well, on my way to the farm at night, that same night, the pickup was parked in Kakata and somebody standing in the back of the pickup selling the T-shirts, throwing it out. You know, that was T-shirt designed for Lofa. It shows the quality of the level of dishonesty that goes on in the field. These are some of the experiences that people should have. Yes, you support a political party. Yes, you think that you know the leader and you think that he has the capacity to win. That's why you see after the electoral process, people say all the people that were supporting us, that all the votes we got. You understand what I'm saying? They go to where there is dairy. You got rice, you got cow meat, you got little money. They will come around and be drunk. But look at it. Some of the political leaders in this country, in their own, where they live, they got 3 or 4 votes. They were so disappointed that their workers and employees did not vote for them, right where they are feeding them. You have to understand this. The awareness is I'm saying this so that Liberian people out there can say, oh, they put in politics for nothing. They don't give us any information. We thought that this person was strong, because of you read comment. Most of the people that voted in the country cannot read the internet that we on. They cannot read it. So the handful of us who can read it and talk loud about it and cuss other people because they make comment, we are just in the minority. And we have to understand that. If the earlier we understand that, the better it is for us. Somebody make a pronouncement, somebody make a pronouncement and somebody's on the radio cussing your mother and cussing your father. I made a simple pronouncement that it is difficult. In 20 years, I don't see it possible for an American Liberian to become president. I have 9 children. 8 of them with graduate degrees from the United States. They're American citizens. They were all born in the States from Ivy League schools. I want to see a future for them, but they have to now meet their friends and brothers and sisters over there from Liberia, establish a positive relationship with them to the extent that they will be considered if they have such ambition. But you cannot just come out and say, sorry.
So Chief Allen, it seems to me, what I'm trying to get out of you, the disruptions in politics in Liberia, is that from the context of which you are making this statement?
The concept, what my statement is clearly based on the democratic numbers in the country and the sense of awareness prevailing around and about the country. The vote-rich counties, 5 of them, I don't have any American Liberians there. It is difficult and almost impossible, except you are extra popular, to go around this country and get majority of the people to support an American. I won't even try it because I know it's not going to happen. And I want you to call this time, 2023, if God spare our lives and we are here, I want you to call and verify what I'm saying. It's only posterity can judge this. But for somebody to make a comment and insult people because they say, I don't insult anybody political leader. I don't insult people. I have command of the English language and I do not have to use abusive words to address my issue. And that is what is lacking. People use all kind of bad comments and whatnot. I don't do that.
Okay, we're going to be taking few calls. Are you
prudent and rational?
Yeah, Chief Allen, we're going to be taking few calls. Are you comfortable with that? That's something you can handle.
I have no option. I have no option but to take the call because I want to hear the various views of Liberians. I want to hear those that understand the concept that I'm trying to say. I want other people there to prepare themselves for the eventualities that might come as a consequence of the democratic process, which they are investing their money and their time and their future hope in. This is part of my duty as a political scientist, as a politician in the country. I cannot go get you money. I cannot promise you the world, but I can tell you what is happening on the ground. I can give you an idea of the political geography, the vote-rich counties, and you can make your own determination, but you don't have to insult me.
Honestly, and this is why for us, we like an open discussion here, because these are things we've been hearing in the quarters with ordinary Liberian, all the American Liberian, they've been there for these number of years, and we're not going to give it to them again, and all of these. So I'm not a one to adjudicate to get this going here, but you also frowned on Senator Darius Dillon. We're going to be putting the number here, and again, all views expressed here is not the views of the management and staff of the Liberia Public Radio, but we do help to facilitate this conversation. You also frowned on Senator Darius Dillon's voice recently. That seems to suggest to me you support the action by Senator Tengbe, correct?
No, absolutely not. I do not support any such actions. I just frown on Darius. Darius is a young friend of mine. We are always in contact. He's not alien to me. Whenever he needs an advice, he calls me as an older brother. He has a lot of personal respect for me. And I have a lot of respect for him too. As senator now, I said that he should be prudent and rational and be guided by the constraints that govern human conduct. There are certain constraints that govern human conduct. There are certain utterances and expressions that people have to make in certain areas in their offices that has to be prudent and rational. And there's something that's expected of political leaders in their jurisdiction. And I expected him to conform to that and comply. I think that he owed his colleagues an apology for addressing them in that manner. I do not frown on what he said. I do not that's a qualification. I do not totally agree with what he says, but I agree to a certain extent with what he said. But I still think that as a colleague, he owes, I'm not supporting anybody's view. Don't say I support Senator this or Senator that. I have no support for anyone. I have a support for the institution of government. And one who act prudently and rationally, those who perform their duties efficiently, enjoy my support and my confidence. I don't care who you are in this country. If you are...
Caller, hold on 1 second. I believe there's a call coming in there to Chief Allen again. Are you there, Chief Allen?
Not performing well, whether you or whoever, you're not performing well, I would tell you you're not performing. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hello?
Yeah. Okay, hold on. Let me go to...
Your voice gone again. I got to go and come.
Yeah, these people, they need to stop calling you here because they are interrupting us here this afternoon here. This is a very crucial discussion here. Okay, caller, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, he's off the line right now, and I believe you have your questions. Just make it succinct so that we can get back. Unfortunately, I believe he's receiving other calls, so is interrupted. While we still are waiting for him to come here, let me just get your take here, and we're going to do it one at a time. Okay, I believe he's here. And so please let us make the question. Chief Allen, are you there?
Some people say I ran away.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is something. Yeah. Okay, well, I'm going to be going to the question line here, and I want you to, so you will answer then. Let's go to our callers here online here. Let me go to the first number here, 475 number 9509. Are you there? What's your question?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah. What's your name and where are you calling from?
I'm Wilson Kepper calling from Connecticut.
Connecticut. Yeah, go. Yeah, okay. Go ahead quickly with your question.
Yeah. I think I just have a statement because I saw the trending going trending on with Cecil Dennis. I think what Mr. Allen is saying is political. It has nothing to do with divisiveness. He's speaking the truth. The political time in Liberia has changed. There's no more where people will be looking at people who keep from abroad or Congo and country. The people right now, they are looking at what they can get out of our country as far as development. And the politics that has been played right now in Liberia is a politics that is different from back in the days. So when he said that it will be hard for a Congo person to become president, he was right. Look at in the house, like he mentioned, the house. How many Congo people you see in the house there? How many Congo people already you see in government today? So it speaks volume. The people are aware, the people's eyes are open, and this is what they fought for when he was in the progressive. Mr. Allen, this is what they fought for, equality. Even though he part and parcel of the Congo country or system, which of course I'm also part of the Congo country system, but we are looking at the country in totality. The majority of the country were left alone when the Congo was ruling. So now, here we are, the indigenous people, their eyes are open, they will give it back to Congo. That's what he's saying. We are not being divisive.
Okay, well, that's a view. Thank you so much. Let me go to the other caller. Please make it succinct. Let me go to this number here, 267. Chief Allen, just hold on after these callers, then you can get your reaction, okay? So, okay. 267, number 5347. Caller, what's your name and where are you calling from?
Yeah, Mr. So, this is Yala from Eastern Pennsylvania.
Okay, Mr. Yala, how are you today?
I'm doing pretty much good. Thanks for asking. How you doing?
Great. I see you throwing some bombas. Okay, so what's your question to Chief Allen?
Okay. Yeah. First of all, let me say from our end here is good afternoon. I know Mr. Allen is in Liberia. That should be maybe in the evening time now. So let me say good evening. And also to your listening guests, good afternoon, those in America. I'm not quite sure what he's on, but
he's there. He's listening to you.
I have one question and I got a statement to make. Mm-hmm. So if he's on, my question is, Mr. Allen, I just want you to tell us, I heard you speaking about good governance. So, and I don't mean to be personal here, but I just want you to tell us whether when you served with President Taylor, whether you guys were able to provide good governance.
Based on respond right away.
Do you think you guys did underperform well, because you're talking about people not performing their duty in this current government? Did you perform well? Did your government under the Taylor regime, did it provide a very good governance for the Liberian people? That's my question.
Okay, then what's the comment?
What's the comment?
Yeah, what's the comment? Because I gotta be switching the audio to he listening to. What's the comment?
Okay, I think if I'm going to get my comment, if we answer my question, that would precipitate maybe some other things. But anyway, that's the arrangement. I can
yeah, what happens? Somebody is on hold. Yeah, he was just right now. He's just only hearing you. Even when he's
listening,
not hear him. That's the whole thing. So, but he hearing what you're saying.
Oh, so he can't answer the then why? Then we don't need to ask the question.
He answering. You say a question. He's taking note. He will answer your question. So, if any, you just listen.
All right, let me make my comment here. Two things here. First of all, like I said, I think my comment will honor my question, so I will leave that part of that comment. But let me just say here, to the point of.
Okay, Mr. Allen, you want to respond to that, because I have the other person on who I just want to do that. Take note of the questions, and then after all you.
I'm taking notes. I'm aware. His question is good governance. Good governance under the Taylor administration.
To get his response. Yeah, go ahead.
I respond to him.
Let me make my comment. Yeah, I said the first thing here is the rhetoric here from the senior man. I think it's not healthy right now. The rhetoric of this Congo and country thing is not healthy right now. Yes, I will agree with him 100% that electioneering politics has to do with number. To win election, you have to have the number. But that idea of let me divide the people to win them, or let me divide the people to rule them, it doesn't offer well for our country. We did that over decades upon decades. We did not go anywhere. Okay, so he has the right to speak to those things. I'm not going to take that away from him. Okay. I'm not going to take that away from him, because everybody has the right to speak to what they see fit and or how they want to say it. But I will tell you, with the kind of political dynamics now in our country, that rhetoric is not healthy, and it's not even realistic. Because the point here is this: we voted Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, who is also of the American Liberian stock, 2 separate times. So what happened to that? So people vote. I mean, election is all about number. You can go and run your campaign and say, oh, because a country man, so vote for me, or because a Congo man. Because John Brown's Congo, don't vote for him. That rhetoric will not hold water right now. I think what we should be hearing from a caliber of Mr. Allen is that Liberians, we need to unite. We can vote for who we believe in, who we see fit in. We should not be voting based on tribal line or sectional line or ethnicity. I don't think that rhetoric is healthy right now. Okay. But again, like I say, he has the right to go about and say that. Now, the other part here, my comment I wanted to make, like I said, one of my question. Anyhow, I will just say it. Why it is true Mr. Allen has the right to make comments or say anything about governance and things. I think he and his team, they perform very dismally, and I don't think he has the moral aptitude to tell anybody about governance, because he did not perform. He and Taylor, they didn't do well for us. So he can't come and be telling other people, you're not performing well. Yes, that's his right to say it, but he doesn't have the moral aptitude to say it. That's the comment I wanted to make. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Chief Allen, I'm going to be going to Mr. Dennis, Sister Dennis the third. He's going to be making a statement or comments and questions, and I will be coming back to you. Mr. Dennis, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here, Mr. Soul. Thank you so much for having me. How you doing?
Good, thank you. Go ahead.
Okay, first of all, I want to congratulate Mr. Allen for being here today to clarify his statement. And one thing that I really wanted to say here, I have said that there, and I will say it again, there is no one Liberian that is more Liberian than any other Liberian. And that is one thing that I want Mr. Allen to take away today. I respect Mr. Allen very well, and I respect every Liberian. My name is Charles Dennis III. My mother is an indigenous, and my father happens to be the miracle Liberian. If you sit in your office, if we Liberians continue to do this segregatory statement, and we sit and just not, or generalize the things that we say without thinking on the repercussion that it brings to our society, we are not doing anything to our society when it's come to the reformation of our society, when it comes to the reintegration of our society, or when it comes to the reconciliation of our nation. Like Mr. Allen, like every other Liberian, I have been wrongly or hurt by my people. but I have stood up and talked about reconciliation for the nation that I love, for the nation that you love. And like I say to everyone, there is not one Liberian within this world that have not been hurt directly or indirectly. Making statements such as no miracle Liberian will ever hold office or will hold office in the next 20 years without first of all saying that based on, with all of the explanation that he just given, if those were the explanation that he have given before he made that statement that I consider to be reckless, I would have never gone out there to say that, because he would have laid a premise saying that based on the geographical location and the political sector right now, I find it difficult for miracle Liberian to hold position within the next 20 years. The context in which that is being said is different than when you make a statement that promotes division within our society. No one Liberian has monopoly over Liberia. No one Liberian has any right in our nation to make other group of people, whether you Kwan, you Dio, you Mana, you Pele, during our civil war, a lot of people did things in our country. They raped our mothers, they killed our family. So nobody is saying that nobody from Grand Gita will never be president in Liberia. No one is saying that nobody from Nima country will ever be president in Liberia. No one is saying that somebody from Basso or Grand Basso or Lofa Kante or Bomi or anybody will be president in Liberia. Why are you singling out miracle Liberian?
Okay,
it's not fair. And we stop that division within our nation. This is something that I seriously frown on.
Okay, let me go to Hina. All right, thank you so much, Mr. Dennis. Okay, all right, and Chief Cyril Allen.
Yeah.
Okay, good. That's what we do here. That's the traditions of Liberia Public Radio here. I represent the voice viewed and the 15 political sections in Liberia. Are you there?
I'm listening.
Okay. Okay, so
are you there?
Yeah, I'm hearing you loud and clear.
Are you there?
Yeah, I'm hearing you. Are you getting me? Okay, then I'll have to let you go and then you'll come back on here. All right. Okay, all right. Let me see here.
Are you there?
Yeah, I'm hearing you now. Let me just get you out of there from the other side here and then get you there. You hearing me now?
Yes, you're clear.
Okay. All right. That's what we have. That's the politics. That's the politics. You want to respond to those questions?
I will start from the bottom. Yes, Mr. Dennis, I listened to you. I understand your point. I mean, you and I are no different from what we went through in this country over the years. But notwithstanding, that does not, and I'm happy that you said, I mean, that I gave you you listened to my expose on the OKFM. I said because of the political dynamics, because of the political geography, and because of the national demography, it is impossible for it to happen within the next 20 years. Maybe I was conservative. Maybe it would take longer. But it's not divisive. I don't agree that it is divisive. It is a political statement. It may be a strong statement. When I speak to the press in Liberia, it's not a thing that people just say, oh, look at what the man said. You have to talk about it. People must talk about my comments. It's been that way from the Taylor time. I'm not one of those people who come with these lukewarm statements. I gave backing. I gave you a demographic backing. I named the five vote-rich counties. I talk about the process of the elections, the number of American Liberians in the legislature now. I talk about the electoral process, that they will not be able to unite to get one leader between and amongst themselves. Too many of them have the desire to be. These are all factors that deter you from national leadership. It's not because Cyril Allen say it. I'm not a prophet, but I'm saying to you that this is the situation on the ground. Everybody will be naive if they do not admit that is the numerical position on the ground. That is to deal with Cecil. I'm sorry if people are offended, but I'm not somebody who come and apologize because I said a statement. I think about things before I say them. I've said this more than 5 times in 5 different interviews. I'm just surprised that this one is sticking. Well, I'm happy that it is sticking that course. It shows that there's unity among the opposition and everyone is concerned about their national leaders. I know that. But notwithstanding, it does not negate the fact that this is a statement of fact. Then I go to the next one. Someone says it's divisive. I don't think it's divisive. I think it's statistical. I think it's political. It's just that I mentioned one tribe. I did not want to mention any other tribe, like you say, Crown, or I can give you several reasons why other tribes might not be considered for national leadership, but it's not me to do that. That's why I made an example with my own section of the country. I did not want to offend any other person. If I offend my brothers and sisters from America, I'm sorry. It's not intentional. I'm just giving you a statement of fact so that you understand, that you don't misplace your political support behind people simply because they are your friends or relatives or your tribe. And go to the next point where it's divisive. Somebody say, I don't have the moral rectitude to talk about good governance. I think that person is categorically wrong. The fact that the Taylor government did not exhibit good governance does not mean that I do not have the moral knowledge to talk about good governance. I've demonstrated good governance in many respects. But yes, during Taylor time, I was vocal also. For some of people who know, I was the only party chairman in this country that told the president that he was running a corrupt system, and that he had a staff illiterate as the SSS director. He took his brother, who was not educated, and put him to FDA. That's why they had sanctions. Minister of Lands and Mines go and spend 3 months in South Africa and pay bills. I was serious about these things. You could not take your little son, who's not a good high school graduate, and put him on top of the ex-combatants with huge weapons. He will move on me and you, Mr. President, one day. I said those things publicly. I don't hide. I'm not one of those. And like I said, now it's worse now because now I'm too old to tell a lie, and I'm not afraid to die at 68. So there's no way I'll go around lying to people or misleading people or anything of that sort. I make categorical declaration statements of fact. I have said before that the government that I was in as a party leader, I had resentment with it. I was on a house arrest during the Taylor administration. I was asked to resign as party chairman because I was expressing the facts. I was expressing the views. We're no longer a rebel group. We were now a democratically elected government. Even when Lord and Model was fighting the government, I volunteered to go to Conakry, Guinea as the party chairman and speak to Lord and Model. The president was offended with that, but I said that the political party MPP was not at war. It's still the government of Liberia that is under oath to defend the territorial integrity of the country. The government is at war. It doesn't mean that the political party is fighting with other Liberians. I said these things. These are all pronounced. I have the videos that you can play and whatnot. So I'm not saying that to exonerate myself. I was part of the government. If the government did not do well, I take responsibility. Our generation should take responsibility for the decadence of our country, because we were the ones who came from school in the 70s and started all this uprising, all this revolution against government, all the demonstration, riots, strike, civil commotion that led to vandalism, malicious mischief, and led to war. It's our generation should take responsibility for that.
So I'm
asking the young generation of people to follow our generation of leaders that destroyed this country. There are new dynamics of chronological leadership among your young generation of leaders that are committed to national development effort and form and set up yourself to govern the country and make it better than what our generation did. That is what I'm saying. And I will continue to pound on that for as long as I speak. Thank you.
Okay, so this sounds like more responsibility that you're taking responsibility to that. Was that President Taylor asked you to resign?
Hello?
Yeah, Chief Allen, are you there? Was that President Taylor asked you to resign at the time because of your positions and comments that you made? This is okay. Let me just let me see here.
I'm back.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, I was asking, are you hearing me now? I was asking whether it was President Taylor that asked you to resign because of your comments at the time.
Hello?
Yeah. Are you hearing me?
Alfonso, are you there?
Yeah, I'm hearing you. Are you hearing me? Are you hearing me? Oh, okay. Let me see here. Okay, I gotta get one here. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, are you hearing me?
Yes, I can hear you clearly.
Yeah, so Yeah, I was asking, was that President Taylor at the time because of your comments and some of the position you took? Was that he was the one that asked you to resign?
Yes, but I mean, he asked me to resign at the Buchanan Convention, and we took it to the convention. The convention decided no. Our national chairman was speaking on behalf of the partisans, broad-based partisans, so he brought Edwin Holler to contest for my seat, and I defeated Holler in Basel. So these are the kind of thing when you are good with your people at the grassroots level, when national leaders make decisions, the people support the base of the party. And that is the type of thing that I'm talking about. Yes, I was asked to resign. Yes, I was under house arrest for 3 months because of my utterances and whatnot. But those things did not deter me. They did not weaken me from supporting the party base and continue to support my party. It did not weaken me to go ahead and form a coalition along with the democratic institution that had numbers and with a democratic institution that had finances to form a coalition. You have to think about the political geography and the dynamics when you are forming a coalition, so that you know one party have numbers, another party have a broad political base, and another party got a little bit of money. So you put 3 of them together, and you can form a coalition that can win democratic election depending on the electorate.
Okay, Mr. Allen, hold on 1 second. Let me go to the phone line here to get a few questions. Okay.
Please ask them.
Okay. Callers, are you there? Let me start with the number here, which there's a number from Canada, I believe.
Yeah, I'm here. It's 70?
Yeah, I can see you there, Walt. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, go ahead. What's your name and where are you calling from?
I'm Lawrence. I'm calling from Edmonton, Canada.
Okay, I guess you've been following the conversation, right?
Yes, I've been following the conversation, and I'm a little bit taken aback because people are being.
Who's this person? You got a call. Hello, hi. Your call can be important. Hello, caller. Are you there? Yeah, 48 number. Hold on, let the guy from Canada speaking. Yeah, go ahead, caller from Canada.
For some reason, I don't know why.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's simply expressing his opinion. That according to his opinion, that the political reality doesn't favor American Liberians at this time. He didn't say Liberians should not vote for American Liberia. He's not demonizing it. In fact, he himself is an American Liberian. All right? Mm-hmm. And even myself, my mother is from Hartford. She's a Dix. So she's an American Liberian. But the reality is, what he just said will be extremely difficult because the political reality has changed. And the voting pattern has changed over time. All right? So where we are today, it's clear that according to him and the statistics that he has a lot of experience. I want to give it to him. It will be extremely difficult. So if you're in the CPP and you think this is not the reality, fine. But look at Cummings and Hewitt. It doesn't favor them. It will be extremely difficult for the guys to win. Not today. That's the reality.
Okay.
So there's nothing to be emotional about. All right?
All right. Thank you.
The American Liberians, everybody has the right. I have the right. That's what any other Liberian. But the fact remains that people vote, and just for an example in Ghana, I spent a lot of time in Ghana.
Okay, let's make it having volumes of call here so you will respond to that. So you're already done, right? Let me go to the next caller here on the line.
Okay, yeah, okay, no problem.
Thank you so much. Okay, let's make the questions comments very brief to the point so that we'll go. Okay, 480 number 6180 caller. What's your name and where you calling from?
My name is Prince Corman. I call from Worcester, Massachusetts.
Okay, Prince, how are you today? Next door neighbor. What's your question or concern?
Actually, my concern had to do with, first of all, thank you for the show and thank you for the honorable man for coming live to express or to say what he knows about, what he said, previously. But this American Liberians and indigenous Liberian thing, Mr. So let's be frank to ourselves in Liberia. Like most often I follow you say some of these things that we have passed these stages and things, no need for all to be going to it. But it has been reality in our country.
Right.
Okay. I can remember, I know Mr. Cyril Allen very well. I was not a little boy. I was in Banga. I free the war from my give to Banga, all the places and things. I follow NTP. Okay. But these things, that's something like it has been all the time happening in our country. So we all have to come together and find reasons okay, and stop this thing, because some people say that Liberia.
When you say stop, should we talk about it or we shouldn't talk about it? That's what I want to know.
Okay, people are supposed to take the responsibility. Okay, like the way Cyril is saying that, oh, they should take the responsibility from the 70s up to now that make our country to be this way. Okay, but some people now still realizing that they need to stop. Okay, like for example, I can remember one of the LP leader, not the leader, but the LP, Mr. Benda Yuri, were calling people cockroaches. Okay, we're calling people cockroaches because these are people that if you say we won't look up to them, are they start calling you cockroaches again? Nobody came to talk about it. Nobody talk about it. So, I mean, like you say, we have to talk about it and forget about it. But if you forget about it, you can't forget about your history.
Right.
You can't forget
history is about the past and the future, right? Okay, so what's your question? Quickly, so I can bring in the next person.
That's just my recommendation. We should talk about it and then no different anymore. But the miracle Liberian thing have been existing. Nobody should say are not been existing. People been looking down on people because who they are. Okay.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Power right now, it will be difficult.
Thank you so much. Okay, after the caller, then I'll go with 346 number here, 3746. What's your name and where you calling from?
I'm Cyril Double and I'm calling from Texas.
Okay, Kazo, how are you? What's your question? Go ahead. Or concern.
Thank you very much, Mr. So good afternoon and good evening to Mr. Allen.
All right, thank you. Go ahead, buddy.
Good evening. Good evening.
I have a comment and I have a question for Mr. Allen.
Shoot.
But first of all, I want us to discuss this technical statement made by Mr. Allen about this whole American Liberian thing. I don't want us to look at the political aspect. Why it is true that he might be seeing it from a political point of view, but let's look at the reality. Mr. So, you are from Liberia, you don't know. You are one of the renowned journalists. You spent all your time in Liberia, you know. Since the 1980s, since the overthrow of the Togo government, name for me how many American Liberians you have seen in government. Both legislative, government, and what have you. Very few. Very, very few. So I don't want us to take it as if to say what he said, though it is somehow political, it has some political tone, but it's a reality. I want us to look at the logical point of it. Right now, to sell an American Liberian politician to anyone in Liberia, I'm a member of the CPP. Let me tell you the truth. That is one of my most scary parts of being a member of the CPP. That's one thing I believe.
Okay.
If we are going to have anyone of such on our ticket to sell them come this 2023, we're going to have to go extra mile. It's not going to be easy. It is not going to be easy.
It seems to me there are fear in you to even express that because you might be seen divisive. Is that right?
That is the problem. That is the major problem right now because it's like telling someone in this country that using the word black or white in America. Why it is true that there are black or white people in America, but you can't just use it on anybody here like that.
Okay.
Right now, if you try to say that within the CPP, it might look like you are being divisive. You know, that's the problem. But now that it's coming from someone on the outside, you know, I want us all within the CPP to also take a look at it and see how best we can be able to address it and start working on it now, so that tomorrow, you know, it might not hinder us when it comes.
So quickly, before I go back to my guest here, you are making the forecast that he also made. Like, okay, we tried it before with Uri and Cummins, it didn't work, and so there's no evidence that you're going to work now. Taking into consideration the political setting, the demographic, how the society has evolved significantly, that's not possible right now, and so there's no need for us to crucify. Is that what you're saying?
What happened is that the probability of it working, I mean, it is kind of a hard. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. Let me go to him.
Let me make my comment to him quick. I want to tell him thank you for, you know, being bold. Sometimes he sees some bold statements, especially like taking the responsibility for bringing the war to Liberia and all of those sort of things. If he can just take that time, be bold to the CDC government, not because of what he's getting from the government, and be bold, I think some of the things he's done in the past, he could be forgiven for it. But if he continues supporting the government in the form and manner in which he's doing it, supporting them like when they are wrong in some places, he can't or he don't want to say, he try to beat around the bush, try to make it look political, I think it sounds very bad from the start. So I hope he can be right to the point. Okay. Always say at the age.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Chief Allen, are you there?
I'm here.
Okay, this is a clear indication politics in Liberia, interwar country, Liberia is no exceptions. Even in the USA, here, we see the president make some ridiculous statements, and politics will always be divided because we will not agree, and people will not agree with people's views and opinion. But we also strongly believe here on LPRO that, hey, when it comes to national issue, people must put on a little light jacket because we will always have a diverse and dissenting views. We will never go along with it, but we need to sit and discuss it. How are you feeling this afternoon, this evening in Liberia? These are views and opinions being expressed here in the diaspora, and I'm quite sure those expressions have also been made in Liberia here. Tai, you want to respond to some of those comments and statements made?
Well, yes, I normally respond more to statements that has a different opinion from what I'm expressing. I normally respond to things that are off what I say, but most of the callers have told you clearly that this is an established fact, that this is a historical thing that have been going on in our country. It would be naive if we do not admit that this is the reality on the ground. I'm not trying to convince anybody. I'm not trying to denigrate anybody. I do not get anything from doing that. There's nothing that anybody has that I need or I want. There's nothing that anyone of these people can do for me or to me. And no one should tell you that because I'm in government, because it's my government that is in power, that I'm going to back wrong. I do not back wrong. I've had several very strong, outstanding statements when it comes to the issues related to government, with the legislature, with the
Okay, folks, just bear with us.
Executive, and what I've come up, you're not monitoring my interviews. I have a very strong will. You've never heard that Cyril came on the radio and apologized for the statement that he made. I do not drink alcohol. I've never been drunk in my life. So when you hear me talking something, I've deliberated on it, I have thought about it, and I'm acting on it. So I'm very surprised that, I'm happy that majority of the callers have agreed with me. Yes, some go back to the Taylor administration. What did we do and what we did not do? That was the condition and that was the time. Let us stop identifying people by regimes. That is why our country is always backward. One new party win election and they come in and say, oh, this man is an enemy. This engineer is an enemy. This doctor is an enemy. It was with the other government. This security personnel was trained by.
Okay, let me see here.
They don't get jobs. You have engineers and doctors and lawyers right now in some of these estates. They have not had jobs for years and years because the government do not favor them. It is not the way to govern. When you win election, you are your winner. You are the president and the government for all Liberians. Like I said, with the legislature, they are only the leaders of the legislature. They were appointed by their colleagues to represent them. They are not their bosses. They are all equals there. If you have a document from the executive, you have to take the document into your colleagues, share it with them, let them go and read it, and come back to plenary and then make a determination. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm hearing you loud and clear. Okay, let me just hold you there.
It's not a one-sided thing. It's not people that, you cannot have a legislature that's not independent. The whole purpose of this, the president, when he was standing bearer of the party, he said, I'm interested in the quality of people in the Senate because it will help me to govern as a former senator. And I see that senators have come in. Some of them are doing very well. Others are acting like sycophants and opportunists and deceptors. They must be prudent. They must they must make the governing process easier by making sure that they represent the interests of the people and not their personal interests. Okay. These are some of the things that I've made mention and what I want to be real about it, you know.
All right, let me hold you there. In the next 15 minutes, we're going to wrap up here. Let me go to these two callers here. We're not going to end here today. Okay, let me go to these two callers here at 770 number 9094. Are you there, caller? What's your name?
Yes, Mr. So this is Cindy.
How are you? Yeah.
I'm doing well.
Okay.
I call to arm my voice.
Okay, go ahead.
It is really discouraging when we still use where we have been that destroyed us as a deterrent or a sense of intimidation, and people who are supposed to know better add their voice to that. The problem we have in Liberia is people understanding their rights and responsibility, if you ask me. Knowing that they can challenge their government, knowing that the vote is their highest, what do you call it, authority that they have to exercise and what it means to them. Okay? Now, here is what I'm going to say. It is a shame that while Liberia has not progressed, that people who destroyed us, destroyed our future, literally killed our people, they have the audacity to come tell us how to vote, when to vote. That miracle. Mr. Allen's father is from Nigeria. His mother is a miracle Liberian. I think, according to our culture, he will be considered because what he's, yes. Mr. So, yes. To come here, while his children are fine, he brought them up on the wealth of our nation, on the back of some of us. And those are people who I saw during the war. Okay, those who were the mouthpiece, yeah, they went back and forth with Cyril. But now, the same people who traumatize us to come back to tell us because we're stupid. Listen, I was in Liberia.
Let's get to the, I'll be running out of time. Let's get to the question or express your question. Yeah, okay.
Here is my point. Mm-hmm. We will take our chances with the Liberian people. Okay. We will educate them. I am a country girl. And you know what? Mm-hmm. Most of the people who came before me, they know better. And I don't really know anything called a miracle Liberia. And people need to start. We are Liberian first and foremost. I think that's our problem. If we can come to those terms and say, Mr. So, you're my brother, you're related. You're talking about almost 20 generations later. And then we're talking a miracle Liberia. We don't fit in America. Then we don't fit in Africa. Let's start the divisiveness. Okay. We're not crazy.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Let me go. George Lobo, are you there? Hello? Lobo, are you there? Caller, are you there? 484 number, are you there?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Yeah. I want to say thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to at least share this platform this evening. I want to say hi to Mr. Allen in the studio. Okay. Of everything he said, I listened to him. There are a lot of issues in Liberia that will remain burning issues as long as you express them. Some of these hardcore facts are difficult, and that is why we have not come to a place to move the country forward. Some of the issues people touch on, it will alienate one group of people.
Okay, I think he gone off in the meantime because I think that.
But here's what I want to ask him. Okay. I hope he's there.
Okay, yeah, he back now. Go ahead. Okay.
Mr. Allen said that their generation failed the country, which I absolutely agree with him. They went abroad. They were educated on state resources. And like he said, when they came back, they started all the uprising, the riot,
on an interview,
the protests, and here and there. So given the fact that he has realized now where they got us, what will be his recommendation to this generation that some of us are part of now? What is it we should do, given the fact that he's here to tell us why they fail us and how they fail us? Should we follow the example that they set, or should we begin to pursue a new path, one that is free of violence and not resemble anything that the members of the progressive have been consistent? I say the progressive was the problem of the Republic of Liberia. So what is his way forward? What advice he's offering to young people? And how is he facilitating that process? I want to be able to hear that as a former chairman of the party.
There you go. Okay, let me go to Chief Allen. Chief Allen, are you there? Are you hearing me? Okay, I believe he's not.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Okay, yes, somebody. What advice we are offering to the younger generation? Mm-hmm. I think it was in 1 or 2 interviews ago that a young generation of Liberians, a chronological generation, a generation of Liberians between the ages of 50 and downward, to unite under one umbrella as a chronological interest. Their interest is to make Liberia better. That is one common objective most of the younger people have right now. I think they should get away with this divisiveness, following political party, because our generation made it very clear. I like to be clear that, but she was very clear. Our generation of people, from the warring fractions, from the 13 warring fractions, from the 32 political parties, we have divided Liberians. Youth, they are fighting among each other without having any grievances. They are throwing rocks at each other. You heard the election in Monserrate the other day at other counties. People are throwing rock at each other. Younger people that are supporting political leaders, they should all unite under one political umbrella as a chronological generation of Liberian politicians that want to see better for the country. That is how they should unite, on chronological basis, not on political party interests, not on warring faction interests, not on tribal, not on religious, not on sectional interests, not on regional interests. They must unite as one generation of Liberians under the banner of a chronological generation. And then they will have the majority of the votes because they are in majority. The youth are in majority. Are united as one umbrella. Anything to the contrary, I've advised that. I made a pronouncement on that because you see, most of the youth in Liberia now have been in opposition for a long time. So most of people, if you stay a long time in opposition, there's something in opposition that they call
okay. Bear with us. Okay, bear with us. And you want to thank him because the internet service in Liberia is so terrible and bearable, but he continues to come back. Yeah.
I'm sorry about the thing that kind of we enter where my people, you are all right over there, you're doing well. Here we have our problem with blockage and whatnot. That's what I'm saying. I've said clearly that in unity there is strength. There's no need for us to keep dividing these young people into sections and factions. When people stay in opposition for a long time, you hear the utterances of the younger people. You hear, as soon as one political leader talk, people begin to insult them and curse them parents. It is not necessary. You see, what we need to do now as a younger generation of people, this is my suggestion, is to unite under one umbrella. No need for you to be chunking rock at each other and fighting because I'm fighting for Taylor or I'm fighting for Brunsky or I'm fighting for this or I'm fighting for that. No. It is an anachronization of the contemporary Liberian aspiration to be divided. The young people must unite under one umbrella and throw away the old political ideology of division, of sectionalism, of tribalism, of religion. So and unite under one common umbrella as national leaders. I can assure them that if they do that within the next few years, they as a generation of people will win the democratic process because of the democratic numbers that they have in their chronological session.
And I think to justify it here a little bit into the conversations, and that was a very cool, good question George Lobot asked, because, and for me, and that's what I told people. People coming on this network, yeah, you got to get prepared. You will always expect the unexpected. And
yes,
Liberians, I've come to realize, Liberians, they become more or less selective on things they want to talk. I have been on this network here. Sometimes people will come, they make statements, but people view that their opinions will consistently be their opinion. That does not make it a fact. People will come and say, well, they look at history, they look at things that happened in the past. All right. And that's one of the reasons when you made that comment, we decided to reach out to you. You can better give it interpretations. And that's why we are having that conversation. So based on you as a political figure, even though you say you're going into retirement, but politicians never retire, that I know, that they will always, when things aren't going right, they will speak. Do you see yourself to champion this cause here for us to have this sort of conversation with civility, where people will sit around the table and say, look, because this history is all about the past and the future. So I don't know why people don't want us to talk about the past. They just want us to talk about the future. We got to know where we came from, where we went wrong, and then we can eventually think about it. Are you willing to also lead their cause here? Look, you, the young generation, this is what we did for the last 50, 40 years. It did not work. It wasn't good for us. You guys are on the wrong path. Are you willing to lead that cause?
Yes, of course, we are leading the cause now, because I even called on the chairman of the Congress, Chairman Molu. I admonished him that the last time there was an issue with certain pronouncements that he made, and it was offensive to the government, and so people took exception. And I went there and said, no, we cannot take exception with the national chairman, because when a political leader stay in opposition for a long time, they suffer from what you call anti-establishment phobia. In political science, they call anti-establishment phobia. That means most of your pronouncement, your statements, your comments are all anti-establishment, because you have been in opposition for so long. So even when you win the democratic process, your pronouncements, sometimes whatever you say may sound anti-establishment. You see, because of the phobia that's there. Most of the younger people have the same phobia. They have been in opposition for ever since, for years. And all they know how to do is to make anti-establishment statements or comments. But I've admonished Chairman Molu to unite the younger generation of people under one umbrella. They all have similar objectives. They have similar qualms. They have similar comments. They have similar dissatisfaction. See if you can put them together under one umbrella, with a common objective of national development. Identifying, first, training, examining, utilizing for effective, mobilizing, galvanizing for effective implementation in the country. They should go for political dynamics and leadership. I don't see why the young generation of people who are united under one umbrella should not call their colleagues and say, we're not following these old people no more. We are divided between and amongst them. They know the divide and rule from the Cold War. They know the divide and rule from the colonial powers. They know the assimilation from the French. These people do not know the contemporary concept that we are all one. I always say to people, you see, the younger generation of people now they don't care about race anymore. I have 4 kids that are married to Europeans and Americans, whites. My grandchildren, 9 of them are all mulattoes. This is the type of school that my children went to and the type of people that they met. You cannot choose for them. So the new generation of people now are more united than our generation that was divided by the Cold War, that was divided by colonialism and neocolonialism. They have come up now as a younger group of people. We admonish them and encourage them. If there's anything that we can do to unite them as one group of people with one common objective of national development and commitment to national development, not national development, commitment and dedication to national development effort. That is what you need from a new generation of people to come together and put themselves. That is my suggestion. I've suggested that 4 times now in my interviews. People may take it wrongly, but that is the way to go.
All right, Chief Allen, let me hold you. This is going to be the last 2 here. Lobo, hold on. Let me go to 302-1950. Are you there? 302-1950. Are you there?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, what's your name and where are you calling from?
Good afternoon, Mr. So, Isaac Harris here. I'm calling from Minnesota.
Okay, how are you, my dear brother?
Doing well, sir. I'm doing well.
All right, go ahead.
Look, man, I just want to, it bleeds my heart to hear the statement that Mr. Allen made. Mm-hmm. We have it's just unfortunate to see how our so-called politicians take advantage of our population over and over again, especially when we're coming closer to elections. That statement was reckless. It was uncalled for, and it was well calculated. Mr. Allen did not make that statement just out of the vacuum. He knew it was political. This is no time to be dividing our people, especially given the experience that we have had in that country. Now, this man served in an administration with Mr. Taylor, that responsible for most of the mayhem in that country. You're talking about the killing. You want to talk about the very indigenous people that you're trying to speak for. A lot of those people were killed. Some of us had some of our current friends that we had to hide and change their names so that they could survive living behind the lines. While this man sat there and he was a part of that administration, he never called. But today, now you want to divide the people. You tell people, say, oh, yes, a Congo person or this person cannot be president. That's not good for our politics.
Okay.
We missed the mark. We should be looking for the most qualified Liberian at this time. It should not matter whether that person comes from whatever county or whatever tribe they come from. That should not be the focus. And at this point, we should be educating our people how to vote for the most qualified person. The people did it in Rwanda. We need to stop that. He needs to be called on that. That's not good. People die from that stuff. The reason the tribal thing get to me so much is I lost friends in that Lutheran church. I lost some of my good crime friends that were killed only because of their tribe. So when I see people perpetrating that thing, and some American Liberians too, including a family member who was murdered just because of his name.
Let me make it brief. Let me bring in the other
so
person.
I'll close on that, but this man needs to stop that.
Yeah, all right.
He needs to stop it.
Hold on one second.
That's dangerous.
Should we not talk about these things here? Is that what you're suggesting as well?
No, you can talk about it, but it's a message of division that he's sowing. You can't tell me that they aren't qualified or Congo people, so-called Congo people, or American Liberian person that's capable. Okay, so you got the CPP. You got all those people in the CPP. What happens is if one of those people who come from that ancestry is qualified, you're trying to tell the electorate that they should not vote for that person because of their background? It's ridiculous.
Okay, all right.
Don't do that.
All right, that's your views and opinions. We respect that. Thank you. Let me go to this other caller here. Caller, are you there? Before I go back to Mr. Allen. Are you there, caller?
Yes, I'm here.
All right. Yeah, Lobo, go ahead quickly.
All right. Real quick, Mr. So I just wanted to say thanks to the Cyril first and foremost for that response. And the reason why I called back is I would like to know if he can commit himself to having additional conversation about this issue, especially for our generation, the young people, because he's absolutely right. We are divided based on political parties' lines, and which I think should not be the way forward. If we are going to go forward, like I've always said before, we must be able to come together as young people on the basis of what will move.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Conversation I'm interested in. And the reasons of that, Mr. So I've always said it on this show. I want a young man to say, you know what, I don't care what county I come from, which church I go to, but I think on this issue, I agree with George, or I agree with whether it's Emmerich, whether I agree with this person. And he's right. If we young people will unite on the basis of that, we will be able to move the country forward. But we can't do it in a rush. We can't do it based on party affiliation because of that. And he's absolutely right. So I just wanted to know, hopefully in the future, in the near future, if Chief Allen can commit himself to having more discussion, I'm greatly interested, Chief Allen, in having this conversation with you, especially on what we the young people should do so that we don't follow you guys' footsteps, because I've been very clear that your generation is responsible for where we are today, and I don't want us, this group that I am part of, that we repeat the mistakes that you people made. So thank you very much for that response, and I'm open to this conversation. I'm looking forward to it. If you don't mind, I will speak to Mr. So. Hopefully we can speak on it, and then we can continue to move forward, because educating the young people is what is important to me, and that's how we'll be able to get this right.
We offer it. Believe me, when we reach out to him, he will do it. And this is why we always have a conversation with civility here, even though it might not go right. Okay, go ahead. Pa George, go ahead quickly.
Yes, sorry, Mr. So I was busy, so I couldn't come. But let me just, I got two questions for Mr. Allen. He's preaching this unified message. At the same time, sending a message of division in the country. So I don't know how can he balance those two messages he's sending out there. Now, secondly, I want to ask him, the carnage and destruction that occur in Liberia, do he share any responsibility of it? And if so, if he were to do it, will he do it the same way? Is he taking responsibility for the destruction, the dream of the young people of Liberia? Is he taking any shared responsibility of that action?
Okay, thank you. Let me go to him quickly. Okay, are you there, Chief Allen?
I'm right here. I'm right here listening.
Okay, I believe you're taking your notes. You want to respond to those questions?
Yes, one. Let's start from the bottom. Someone talk whether we have any intention. Yes, we have taken responsibility. I told people in one or two of my interviews, I think with the VOA with James Butty, I said very clearly and distinctly to him that when we went to school in Liberia, we had 24 hours light and water. We had street lights at every intersection. We had the Fulbright Foundation. We had the USIS library. We had scholarships. We were assured of admission into universities in the United States and other countries as a young generation of people. The top of every class from every high school had a scholarship straight through college. Some of us benefited from that, from every high school in the country. So these are the type of benefits that our generation had as a generation growing up. What did we do when we came from school in the mid 70s and early 80s? We started the vanguard of African liberation. At that time, there was the Cold War. You had Moja, you had the PAIGC, you had the ULIMO, you have FRELIMO. All these groups here were there dividing Africans in various countries. You had the Russians on one end with the communist venture penetrating. You had the capitalists with their own aversion penetrating. And so people were taking sides. What did our generation do? We led to riots, strikes, civil commotion, vandalism, malicious mischief, and finally war. We destroyed the infrastructure that our parents built, the hydro dam, the water processing plant. These things were shot and destroyed by ECOMOG, some by ECOMOG jet bombers, others by Liberian citizens themselves during the war. Now we destroy, and when you ask, Liberians go around asking the world, why are we displaced? The house that your father built for you, you burnt it down. That's why you are displaced.
With your help.
And every Liberians from all over the world, some of them pretending now in the United States, Britain, in South Africa, in Africa, Nigeria, Ghana, they are all pretending now that they were not part of the crisis. People who were sitting on the fence are even worse. People finance warring factions, 13 warring factions over a period of 5-6 years. They came to the democratic process. We did not stop there. We divided people on fractional lines, youth fighting each other. It did not stop there. When we had the political process change, we came and formed 32 political parties. Youth for this, youth for that, youth for this other person, dividing the youth again to support us in our ambition. Classmates and schoolmates fighting war. Gole and Taylor from the same school, same class. Alaji Kroma and Francois Massekwe from the same class.
Including Cyril Allen.
Class of people dividing.
Including Cyril Allen.
You had Cyril Allen. You had all these boys and girls together, Marcus Matthew, all these people taking sides. Amos Sawyer, the Tipotes, the Famules, everybody from our generation and the one older. Ellen Salid, all of them took sides when it came to warring factions and war. Our generation must stop frustrating the younger people. They should not follow us anymore. History depicts that they should not be led by people. The generation should unite under one umbrella. I said that no religion, no age, no session come as a chronological generation. I have the blueprint for that because I worked assiduously under the Taylor regime. When people say, what your thesis in political science? We have transformed a war machine, the MPFL, into a mass-based political party, which is the MPP, by going to all the districts, changing their attire, changing their uniform and putting party uniform on them, making them party stalwarts, sending them to the counties of origin to go and tell the people that the war is over. They are now party stalwarts. All we did was to change their attire and took the guns from them. Eh?
You were successful in doing that?
We were successful in doing that. That's how the MPP was formed. We knew the battalion headquarters and the brigade headquarters. All we had to do was to know how many men were mustered here. We went, took their uniforms and gave them T-shirts, sweatsuits, matches, all those things, plastic hats and things, and transformed them by their uniform, just by changing their attire.
Fair to mention, because it was extremely pushed by.
It is important. It was strategic. That is the relationship between me and Taylor. There was no family or relative or friend
Yeah, well, what I'm saying,
we were invited. We were not invited. We're not invited by Taylor to join the MPFL. We were invited by the Americans to come and help Taylor to form a government because his people were going around shooting and killing people indiscriminately. We were called upon through the people from Firestone and Lac. They call us and say, come on now, Scott, myself, D. Muslim Cooper, Ernest Eastman. They brought us together and said, and on August 12, 1990, we formed a National Patriotic Construction Reassembly Government in Habel. That was a government to go out and negotiate and discuss because the Americans and our European partners felt that Taylor men were just shooting and going. There was no political wing there to go out and tell the people what they are doing and negotiating. We took that sacrifice. We lived between and amongst those people.
Mr. Allen, unfortunately, that reconstruction was seen constituted instead destruction.
Yes, of course. So was the IGNU government. So was the IGNU government. These were two governments on the ground. A government that was put into place and formed when Samuel Doe was still alive is the IGNU government. That's a violation of the Constitution too. So let's not go into that history. I can give you the history leading to that and the meetings that were held. But that's not necessary now. The question was very clearly, do you take responsibility for the history? At that time, yes, we take full responsibility. If we had to play that role again, we would play it in a different way, considering the challenges of changing times.
Do you regret
do
you regret your action?
Of course, I've said that at the TRC. I've said that at the TRC. You can it's a 2-hour deliberation with the TRC, and I call on other warring fractions and other political leaders in our generation to take equal responsibility for the decadence of our society. They must take responsibility.
Like other Liberians has been calling for war crime court. Is that something you're willing to testify to go to? If
I think if it's necessary, if the decision of the Liberians generally, I think it should be done in form of a referendum. Because everybody, like somebody said during this interview, everybody was affected one way or another. The people that were affected most in this country should be considered also our traditional societies. The Mole, the Mlen, the Bong, the Pora, all these societies were infiltrated by people and they destroyed the very culture. Those people are more white than me and you. And we have to have reconciliation. No government have considered reconciliation as a priority. Reconciliation, Palawa hot tactics is a very good thing. In the absence of that, people will feel good if there's a war crime tribunal or something of that sort, or economic crime tribunal, to be able, we would balance people to be able to make a determination. Some Liberians will be happy with that. At least they will feel the pain have been relieved, that people have been penalized or punished for the actions. In the absence of that, we'll keep being unreconciled, we'll keep being divided, and the leaders, political leaders will keep dividing our citizens on the same basis that they have been divided. And we cannot, like you rightly said there, we cannot erase history. Historical facts are there. Yeah, I don't care what you do, you try to erase it or evade it, you cannot erase it. We share the responsibility, we accept the responsibility, and all others should do that also. There's no need for people to be bickering about the issue at bar. I do not regret my statement that talk about the political geography of this country and the incapacity, not that they don't have education, not that they do not have the exposure, not that they do not have the money, but they do not have the democratic numbers to win elections. We do not have that. I say we because I am also an American Liberian. Nobody can tell me the more American Liberian than me. My grandfather is Thomas Two Webster from Harrisburg. My grandmother is Louise Amos, and I am from that sector, born and bred in Harrisburg, grew up there. So nobody can tell me what I'm not and what I'm not. I am. I have an indigenous base from Nigeria. My father, my grandparents were indigenous people. So I'm a product of intermarriage. And I'm proud of that. I'm proud to be part of Nigeria. I'm proud to be part of Liberia. No one can tell me what to accept or what not to accept. This is the reality of life, and everyone should paddle their own canoe, and the youth should unite in this country. They must not follow the division of their parents and big brothers and sisters, because we led them down a slippery road. We led them down a slippery road because of greed for power. That's what happened. We went to school in the best atmosphere. We had scholarships to go abroad.
Let me ask you your question.
Please go on.
Yeah, so you made specific reference, and I just want to go in line with what you articulated. You call Urani, you call Alexander Comey. Has any of them spoken with you since this comment?
No. They have not. I mean, they had. You see, this is the kind of thing that go on in the country. And as soon as you make a statement like that, political leaders find a few dollars and give it to some young people to go there and start cussing and helling. And when you look, young people from outside begin to cuss and hell at the same time. Another line of division. Another line of the political leaders should speak to this issue. Tell Liberia you have a different formula. Tell them you have a different formula of approaching this. Well, it's a brand new day. We will convince our citizens to support us. We will build the type of foundation in our political institutions that will support what you are saying. But people go in their party, say they divide their party. You handpick your daughter and make her representative. You didn't go for any primary. What do you don't expect division? You get together, you form. Let me tell you something interesting. For those of you in the CPP, you have to talk to your leaders also. They have to be consistent. Because you cannot come on the radio, international radio and TV and sign a memorandum of understanding, sign a document that you say is airtight. And 2 days later, the new chairman of Arizona come here saying that this document is still under review and it's been reviewed by their lawyers. That's the beginning of division. That's the beginning of lack of trust. You had people doing this document for almost a year. You completed it, you call your Secretary General, they sign. You sign. You call it a document that you work by. All of a sudden, your first statement and press conference at the Capitol the other day, we are reviewing this document, we are passing it on to our lawyers, and they will make some recommendations to us. That should have been done before you came public. These are some of the things that I talk about leadership and disagreement coming into play because of it is a factor of disunity. When you look, you have people divided.
So now, Chief,
we have to guard against these things, Alfonso. Now we talk, some people get vexed, but are they true?
Well, now you agree with me. I'm not a friendly guy with politicians, people like you, the government, the opposition, all of you guys, the same thing. This sort of playboy is being going on and on and on. And nobody.
But I'm not looking for a friend. Alfonso, I'm not looking for a friend. I'm not looking for no friend. I made my friends when I was in my 20s. All these new friends that are coming because we're in position or because they think that we are well off or successful. They are not friends. They are fair weather friends. You don't need them now.
The only thing about you, very spontaneous. I don't care midnight when we call on you. You come on, and I felt that this was very much important, and I'm happy because it was spontaneous. In fact, I never had a chance to get that audio. You sent it to me, and I said, "Can we have a conversation on that?" And your willingness to come here, that also is finding the common ground, finding solutions. But we have both government and some opposition who are not even willing to also take responsibility to talk on some of these issues. And when they become more selective, what they want to talk about, where they want to go. And that's not, we are talking about a country. We are talking about a sovereign nation that is 172 years old. It's not a baby country. So we need to discuss some of the hardcore issues, whether people like it or not. I'll be on the net where some people have come, some people will call, you know what, for the next days, the crown people will not be something. Why? Because they look at the history of Samuel Doe, what they felt, things that happen. Can we avoid talking those things? Of course, we have to talk about that, but we have to create a situation. It must be done with civility, and that we must talk about it and overcome all of these things here. Hopefully, you guys are still around. It is good that you hold yourself responsible, whatever that has happened. But I think there's a need that we have a general conversations about the future of this country, maybe a national conference. And we, who the young folks and the young people too, are becoming to be problematic to this whole Liberian process because people have a thin skin. They're so enticed with their political leader. You can call their first name, you can call their last name. Hey, come on. I'm talking about a country. I am part of that country. You are part of the country, and we must be able to put all. I'm not saying few, and I'm not saying the selective one. We must be able to put all on the table and have to talk about it.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much. I'm happy that you come there. You come to that point where the younger people must now begin to consider this. Forget about these old political leaders with old ideas of division. Let them focus themselves on national development, commitment to national development effort. They all have advantages. They have lived abroad. They have made new friends and good friends. Let them bring industries, factories, come establish plantations, and join together, provide employment for their people, train our skilled and unskilled people.
Why were you calling on the opposition to come and establish plantations and farms and all of that? Why were you?
But it's a good thing to do. It's a good thing. You are in opposition for 6 years. What do? You have contacts. you have connections, you bring in some factories, bring some industries, establish some businesses, sell rice wholesale, sell cement wholesale, open farms, go to districts and ask for land, open farms, let your partisans be working, people see them working. They will galvanize support for you in the next 6 years. You cannot wait for 2 years to election or 2 months to election. You can't tell people to come and support you in the democratic process when you have not done anything to provide food on their table for 6 years. That's where we fail. We politicians keep failing.
So you feel that is not happening?
It's never happened. Only the end. When Taylor left in 2004, what I did was to lease the party headquarters because it was not necessary to have that big one. Raise some money, give it to our partisans, 8, 9, 10 of them to start opening business. The party itself opened with the Secretary General, wholesale cement and wholesale rice. We bought in a shipload of rice and started selling.
Is the current government doing that, of which you are part of the governing council?
No. It's not the government to do that. The government has its responsibility. I'm talking about opposition political parties. When we're in opposition, we're an opposition party at the time, Judith Bryant time. We're no longer state power holders. So we invested in our party and our partisans. It did not continue because new leadership had different agenda. But this is the way political parties should do. They are incorporated, registered, and licensed to do business. Let them do some business. Go to each county. Do you think if you have 200 acres in each district in this country, 73 districts, at the end of the day, when it's time for democratic process, you don't have a presence in that district? You already have a presence. There doesn't have to be a political presence, but you will be known in that district for providing some sort of livelihood for the people. This is the type of thing political leaders should do. You know, we should stop. We should stop this. Another thing I wanted to say, some people asked me whether we take responsibility. At the TRC, if you listen to my report, I said there were certain generals and other people that they were charging for this and that. I thought, and they charged people like me for aiding and abetting. And I said, no, you're wrong of the revolution. You have to hold us responsible rather than how can you give a general that was under the command of someone that I was even senior to charge him for something and charge me for something different? It's bias because you heard the person in, so you charge them with things. What about the leaders? What about these people who are leading the revolution? We joined it in the political sector, but we're there. Right. So I want us to understand these kind of things, that Liberians, nobody is against anybody. All these people, knowledge is power. Experience is a gift from God because you have life and God gave you life. We use it. I can talk to people freely. Whoever want a discussion or a debate, political leaders or president in waiting or whatever, anybody who wants a debate on a national issue, I don't have to write no paper. I don't have to read no for script. I can tell you exactly what happened from the 1980s up until now because I was an active participant. I spent only 1 year in exile on Sunday though before I was recruited to come and join the MPFL to establish the political wing. 1 year in exile. For the rest of the time, I've been in Liberia. And if I share knowledge with you and experience, you don't go around start insulting me and cussing me. Me and you know, we're not equal. I'm not cussing nobody, my pa. I have knowledge, and I have command of the English language. Okay. And I can express myself and express my view. I don't insult anybody. I won't insult anybody who disagree with me. You can disagree with me 10 times. I don't have any insult for you. I will try to correct you.
Lastly here, talk to me quickly here. How you call it, sir? The primary is on hand. We have 15th, the upper house of government. Those guys, should they go back there?
My brother, it is the decision. It is the.
Let me call you out here. You were calling out oppositions, lawmakers, or senators. You call people. I did not hear you calling any name from your party or from the governing party. Why? Why you are selective?
In what? In naming?
Yeah, I heard you calling Oscar Cooper. I heard you calling
I was talking about the opposition senators.
Mm-hmm.
I was talking about senators in the opposition. So, but basically, you have these things. I hear more from the senators of the MPP and the coalition than I hear from the opposition. I hear dissatisfaction. I hear disunity. I hear lack of dissemination of information. I hear negative thing about the quality of leadership. And I represent that at every level, and I speak about it so that people can correct themselves. The governance process will meet up with bottlenecks if you think that you can take a bill and pass it in front of 5 or 6 senators.
Yeah,
all of them must have their input.
Yeah, quickly here, you had one of the governing party, the MPP at the time here, and I was quite appalled when I listened to this pro tem of the Liberian Senate, his interactions with then opposition. Here is the guy who have his own candidate contesting, and he, according to him, he aided financially to Darius Dillon. Senator Darius Dillon, on the other hand, has also labeled this guy here, and now he's going to take from him. So I think there are more we need to know. And here is the intriguing thing of it. Both the governments and the oppositions has adopted the systems of justifications of their actions. I saw CDC Moluba Molu party chairman defending the actions of pro tem, who should have given his finances or resources to that of Polita Wie at the time. And you get the opposition on the other side too, giving justification because what Senator Darius Dillon took. What sort of politics is that?
Well, it's not enmity, and the pro tem, I don't know, I don't want to speak to this. I think you should call on them directly if they are brave enough to come forward and discuss with you. They can tell you the reasons surrounding that. But my understanding of that was that Darius Dillon had already won the election when the pro tem aided him as a senator, that he did not want to be embarrassed with poll watchers. Another school of thought say that no, he was supporting him for the process. But if he supported him, you know that the pro tem is not a sedition. He was in the opposition. When we won the election, they voted against us. He was a leader of the group of 18 that supported Borkai in the electoral process. He did not vote or support the CDC. The idea of getting him as pro tem is in politics. There's something, and some of us made that suggestion. There's something that they call having a semblance of a majority. Hence, he was the leader of the group of 18 senators that voted against us. To nominate him as pro tem of the Senate to lead the Senate, meaning he automatically had a majority. And then we can convince our other 7 or 8 senators to join the ranks and fight. But that's not the case. The Senate is more divided than it was before the elections. So was it a prudent political move? No. And that's what I'm talking about. And somebody talking about contempt. I'm waiting for that contempt. I got news. I have a lot to tell them about the operation of the Senate as they have been conducting themselves, not in the interest of the people of this country.
Okay.
A handful of them are very good. We'll give them credit. They are on point. Many of them are not working in the interest of the people that elected them.
Are you prepared?
And we have to be fair and frank to say that.
Are you
no matter how they feel about it, they have to hear the truth.
Yeah, you want to.
And somebody got to tell them. I'm the only person, one of the only person in this country that can tell them the truth. Because there's nothing that they have that I want, or nothing that they have that I need. And they can't do nothing for me or to me.
Do you want to call them out, Chief Allen?
I have. Listen to that interview. You have it. I sent it to you. You have a detailed description of what is happening in the Senate and the legislature. My disagreement, you have it. I sent it to you as among those 3 interviews that I sent to you. It's crystal clear on my views. I don't hide my views because they are straightforward and they mean well. I mean well. I'm not looking for anybody to harm or to insult or to undermine. I have to say what is happening and let the people know and address themselves to it so that we can remedy things.
Reason for Democratic Change, Chief Cyril Allen has described as Mayor of Bluff the framework document of the opposition collaborating political parties intended to unseat the CDC government in the 2023 presidential elections. Chief Allen pointed out that no member of the CPP will ever win presidential elections in Liberia, noting the 4 political leaders do not have the leadership attributes to govern the country as in the case of the CDC. Speaking in an interview with Prime News, Chief Allen stated that never again will the country allow an American Liberian to serve as president of the country, noting the CPP is wasting its time and resources in vain. He says if the CPP wants to deliver the change for the Liberian people, they must firstly start with the provision of job opportunity by establishing industries in a country.
To develop this country and expand here, they're not going to win no elections here. You will see a power struggle within the next few months. I predict you'll see a power struggle. When it comes to a primary, neither of these people will submit themselves to a primary. That's the problem. That's the problem. So? Because I know it. We tried it in the last election. We wanted Uri and Cummings to submit to a primary. Cummings said, I want to be president. I can't be president. I can't have to be number 2. All those boys. That none of them, no American Liberian in this country is going to win a democratic election within the next 20 years. Forget it. Forget it. My indicators are the political geography of the country. The awareness that's existing between you among the new generation of people. It cannot happen. It will not happen. We look at the political geography of this country. Anybody who's venturing on that is dreaming. It's not possible for you to convince the 15 tribes of Liberia to support an American Liberian in the democratic process. But that's what you say. He's looked at as a common man, an American Liberian. I'm just saying that. It is impossible because Liberians are aware. Now, you cannot have a group of people dominating you for 100 and something years, and in contemporary time, you young people, politicians will come and handpick one American Liberian to be your president. I know that. I know that it's difficult because if you understand the vote-rich area, Nimba, Bong, Agibi, no American Liberians there. Boga cannot win a democratic election in this country standing alone. I can tell you that. I know him from way back. He has no such enthusiasm. He has no such character, no such undertaking. He can be a second in command as an older person. Boga is very intelligent, very smart, very experienced. But he has no sort of to lead the country. He cannot lead this country because he has not demonstrated that over the years. You must demonstrate your capacity to expand and expand and do things for national interest. In the absence of that, we defeat you I expect political parties at the end of the election to approach the 6 years. You lost election. You have to now develop and open opportunities and corridors for your partisans. You have money, you have investment. Bring in industries, bring in factories, open up a plantation, employ your partisans. Go to each county or each district, open up a farm.
Meanwhile, Chief Cyril Allen has called on Senator Abraham Darius Dillon to apologize to his colleagues for referring to the Senate as useless, rotten, and spineless.
I'm sorry. I think he was a little bit rude to his colleagues, and I think he owes them an apology as a young man coming up. We encourage him. We support him to be outspoken. I'm not holding him to that. You must be prudent and rational. As an individual at that level, you must be guided by the constraints of human conduct. There are certain basic constraints that govern human conduct. Your utterances. You see, I always say that young people coming out of opposition, the program there now has completely divided the Senate. I'm aware that they are divided. I'm aware that the Senate is divided because right now, if you try any of them, both the speaker and the pro politically, and within their section, go to the pro tem and try his midterm now, try his strength among his colleagues. You see that he was not going to win the pro tem. If you take the speaker right now and try him in midterm, 3 years gone, and he's not going to win the speakership because of the division between and among his people. All of them consult me. The complaints come from the legislators to me about this. The complaint comes from the senators, Senator Cooper, Senator Yala. All these people, they are concerned about the manner in which these leaders are conducting them. They are not little children that are working for them. They are equals. They voted for them to become their national leaders. They should act as leaders. Embrace all members, opposition or not, so that you can make the job of the president easier. But when you have divisions in there and pronouncements coming out of the Senate like from Dillon, pronouncements coming from Senator Cooper, pronouncements coming from Senator Kanga Lawrence, from Graham Basso.
Okay. All right. What's your final word?
Right here.
What's your final word before I let you go?
My final word is that I'm encouraged by the young man over there who said that he accepts the challenge of uniting the younger generation of people under one umbrella as a chronological generation of people interested in, committed to the national development effort of Liberia. I have a blueprint. I have a document that actually talk about political parties in in Liberia, and I think it will be a good scenario for people to dismiss religion, dismiss tribe, region, and section, and be like us.
Are you there?
When we were in college, I did not know the tribe of my classmates. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm listening. Go ahead. I think your assistant. Are you there? Okay. Let me just get you off and see whether you can come back on here. And all right, just come back on here to make your final remarks, and then we can get the program wrap up here. You see, okay. All right. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. You know, go ahead.
I just want to sum up, and my last word, my final word is to Liberians all over that there's nothing meant to slam, to slander anybody or to undermine or to insult anybody. I'm giving just statements of facts, and if you disagree with the facts, you can look at the statistics from the democratic process. Election Commission has a website. You can look at the political numbers, and you can make a determination on your support. Also, I tell Liberians that discipline and dedication will get us anywhere once the desire is there. And lastly, but not least, I'm too old to lie, and I'm not afraid to die. This is what I live by. This is a principle I live by. And you don't expect me, I heard somebody say, because I'm enjoying. I've always been enjoying. I've always been working. 12 years of Ellen Sirleaf government, I did not have to work. I did some consultancy for international community and whatnot, but I don't have to work for anybody. I'm 68 years old and I'm a successful man. How will you look at that, Alfonso? If you see me at 68, 8 o'clock in the morning, going to work, say I'm going to work, simply because my party won elections. I usurp the positions of younger generation of people that are equally or more qualified, contemporary young people who should have their jobs. I think we should avoid that. People should retire at a certain age, work hard while you are working, and when it's time to retire, you retire and go. If you are consulted on issues from your experience, you can make your contribution to your national development effort, not necessarily to work. I don't have to benefit from any government to support it, and I don't have to have dissension in my ranks simply because I want to prove something.
I'm afraid not to start this show all over. It looks like your point is being directed as Ambassador Joseph Boyka for retirement.
Well, Joe is my senior, and we were in college together. I know him to be very dynamic. I know him to be brilliant. He's experienced. He has served in the country. He has done his best. I think it's time to hang it up and say, listen, let the younger generation of leaders.
Okay. All right, the internet is.
As long as you have people like that of us at the top from similar crowd members and things, you have it. There's no way you can erase it. There's no way you can divorce yourself from it. Thank you for the opportunity of explaining.
Okay, all right. Well, folks, we're going to leave it at today. I want to say thank you so. Yeah, Chief Allen, again, I want to thank you for being so spontaneous to our request by honoring our invitations. I think it was just yesterday that I sent that message and you agree to come on and put away things that are needed as a talking point to they were made available. So I want to thank you so much, and I'm looking for us having a discussion this time, the capacity building of the youth, your blueprint, if you don't mind. You can share with us, and we can begin to have a conversation. That would be good for the country to see what is
also.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for the opportunity also of.
Yeah. All right then.
Thank you for the opportunity, and I look forward to when there's an issue of
okay,
national concern, I'm prepared.
Yeah. All right. Okay. I think
to address it if there's anything going on.
All right. Thank you so much.
All
right. Bye-bye. Okay, well, folks, that does it this afternoon. It's 3:09 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm Alfonso Zian. So this is what we do here. As long we reach out to people, we believe national issues must be discussed. Let me see. Are you there?
I'm here now. Thank
you. Yeah. Okay.
Yes, I can hear you.
All right. So I'm looking forward maybe to get hand on your blueprint, and hopefully we can look at it.
Who participated in this?
All right. Sounds good. Okay. Thank you so much.
Interview. Hello?
Yeah, I'm hearing you.
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I'm happy. I just want to thank your listening audience and all those who participated in the show. And let them know that we are open to discussions, and there's no, and we'll be guided by those constraints that govern human conduct. Thank you all very much for the opportunity, and please call upon me, not too frequently, but once in a while. You know, Country Devil comes once in a while.
I'm looking forward to get that blueprint. That I'm interested.
You don't come up all the time and blab it. All time.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, bye. Okay, well, folks, I want to thank you so much for this discussion. And again, when it comes to country, we have to be very, in as much you want to be sensitive, but we have to open up. And I don't know, let me see there. You know, some people write some ridiculous comments. You don't tell us who to bring on our program. You don't tell us what to discuss, what not to discuss. This is how you people become selective, and this is why I get the country to be divided. You only want to talk about things that satisfy you or that satisfy your political taste. That's not who we are here, and this is why we are free. We talk to anybody, opposition, governments, activists, people of all diversity. That's what this business is all about. Once you have the courage, come on. We send an invitation. People who honor our invitation, those are the people we're going to bring. So when we're talking about country, we are talking about the 15 political subdivisions, and not to mention the clans and districts and towns and villages. There are a lot of discussions in the quarter that needs to come in the public domain for us to have this sort of conversation. But if you think you want to discuss it because your XYZ party, or you want it suit your political taste, because that's why you're going to be rewarded. Usually, that's how you politicians, you people that hire behave, supporters and followers, you don't even ask the tough questions on people that you support. It's only just after yourself, because when they get it, you're going to be politically rewarded. That is dangerous, it's dishonest to your country. In as much we hold the politicians responsible, we as a followers, supporters, your decision must be judged on the basis of why you're supporting this person. You don't even ask this question. You just know a little minute about the people, and you get there, and then sooner or later, you begin to tell us a story that you didn't know, you didn't see this coming. That is so ridiculous, and we need to stop that. You need to look in the faces of your political leaders, your politicians, people who even advocate for you, to tell them they are wrong. If these people do not even have the guts to even admit to be apologetic of their decisions, their wrong decision, but all is to give justifications of their actions, which has been the core of both the oppositions and the government. Yes, we did it this way. When the other people did it the last time around, what happens? Those sort of justification does not in any way develop a country. People here, when they make political error, they take the responsibility and apologize. How many of our Liberian politicians, be it governments and in the oppositions, has apologized to the people? All they do is justifications of their actions, still in defiance, and using those political statements of correctness to justify their case. I want to thank you so much. We're looking forward to seeing that blueprint. We want people who are going to be putting your solution. All of us, directly, indirectly, were involved in the civil crisis. You pointed some people, pointed fingers at other people. So other people identify people and they turn their back. Yes, we did not see you, but you have that within your conscience. And so if we have to let go, we have to discuss all and not few, and not just to be selective. There's no pain without a gain. Freedom does not come so easily. All of these countries, the very great America here today, they went through their time. This is why they have specific day, like a Memorial Day, it's been selected to honor those for whatever reasons their life will lay down. We need to do all of that until today's politicians, advocates, will adopt the systems of being civilized to have a genuine conversations and talk on some of these issues and be persuasive and tell the Liberian people, then I think we will get somewhere. But if we can't even look into our people, in our politicians, in our supporters and tell them where they are falling short, but only to be a Zion Grove Baptist choir, mass choir behind them because our own interest lies ahead of us instead of the interest of the country, then it's troubling for some of us. The invitation is out there to some of these guys, both the politicians and advocates. Some of you make some ridiculous comments. It's no different from any politicians making comments. Some of you make pronouncements. You call names. You do this. It goes a long way. You give justifications of your actions, and people give justifications of their action. This is not meant to bad people, but until we can accept and listen to people's views and not to shut them off, because the more we shut people off of their views or their opinion, the repercussions, the outburst is dangerous. So we need to listen to people and pick up this positive signal. We are not judgmental on this network. Now to have this document, the only person can now I delete this document. And Lobota, thank you very much. I think you make him to call out something, and I'm happy that you had that blueprint. Say you have it until I can receive it. But I hold you of a word now is on record that he has a blueprint, and we are looking forward to bring that blueprint forward. Why you to be trimming like a gravel ants when it comes to Liberia? Who told you alone only owns Liberia? It's not these 14, 16 political parties. All of these people, they are self-greedy center people. Those were the same questions we did not ask yesterday to the CDC, and we are here today. You do not want us to ask this question to the COP, to the WOP, and the 14 political rainbow coalition. Small, tiny country. They can't even come to a consensus. All of these people, I don't believe in them. I don't trust them. They are all about themselves. You leave George, we are the elephant in the room. Yes, no question about that. Bad policies, bad governance, corruptions is at a zenith. Poor CPP there today, poor Rainbow Coalition. They will fight crazy. The certain group will want to go to LPRC because that's where you have the oil. Other group will want to go to MPA. That's a gateway to the country economy. Other people, certain group will want to go to RRA. If they can't get it, it becomes a problem. See what they're doing now? They are dividing themselves. Certain party taking certain county to go contest people. What sort of divisiveness is that? Why can't you guys talk about it? Are you dividing? Are you living to Liberia in a special way? Well, folks, thank you so much. And I will be back here on this network. We do not necessarily talk on things that you are interested in, because most of the things that you want are things that play into your narrative. That's not what we do here. The nomenclatures of our structure here, Liberia Public Radio, reflects the diverse and dissenting views of the country. Small tiny country in the West Continent, 15 political subdivisions, diverse, tons of tribes, dialects. Those are things that we discuss here. And so when you come here, do yourself a favor by relaxing your mind. Do not make your cholesterol or your high blood pressure to go up because simply you did not hear what you want to hear. That's not our choice. That's not what we do. We disagree with people, but we allow them to express their views and opinions. Because why? They are Liberians, and we must listen to them and see how we can incorporate what is applicable to the political process of our country. I want to thank you so much for being part of this program here. We will keep being here. Sunday, I'm going to be hosting to Representative Ellis Chesia Grant of Grand Jita County, who is a lawmaker. We're going to be discussing some hardcore issue. Grand Jita County now is infested with Burkinabes. What's going on? What the lawmakers are doing. Thank you so much, and I hope to be back here. Same time, same station. Have a pleasant day. Bye-bye.